Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm gonna try something different. I did make a video for the monthly overview, for everything that's been going on in the month of March for my $10 tier on my Patreon. So I was just thinking of maybe deciding instead of writing these horoscopes, let's just do another video and then post it on the $5 tier, which I've been kind of doing, like writing horoscopes for every season, like Aries season, Taurus season, Gemini season, so on, so on. Every month and stuff like that. And I've been writing for the monthly horoscopes like the past couple years basically. So I've been trying to try something new. Maybe I feel more comfortable doing these videos than when I started. It's like more easier for me now. I don't feel so like, oh, I'm being filmed, blah blah blah, and it's weird. Like, I don't know. That's just you kind of have to learn and like grow from that. Have to be used to it if you're doing stuff like this, like online contact. So I think it'll be kind of a cool thing to just, start, doing these instead of writing it. I feel like it's a lot easier too. It's not such a hassle to, do all these, but yeah, in this video, we're going to be talking about Aries season. Aries season will begin on March 9th. I know I'm like doing, I don't know what I'm doing here with my hands. I'm just like, just kidding. Ignore that. So Aries season begins on March 19th, not March 9th. March 19th. That's when the sun will switch into, leave the sign of Pisces that it's been over the last month, 30 days, and then enter a whole new 30-day cycle in the sign of Aries. So I have my notes here, and then I have the notes for the houses. So we'll do the houses. We'll go through each sign towards like the end of the video, but we'll just kind of like give a brief overview of what Aries, the sign of Aries is, what the season's going to be like. I can actually get another note for my, like, kind of giving like a preview of what's going to happen in April, because like that's where most of the aspects and transits that the sun will be forming will be mainly in April, not in March. So there's just one little thing that happens in March, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'll just do that. Okay, but so I mean, I can actually just show you the calendar. If you were on the $10 tier on Patreon, on my Patreon, I did an hour-long video of the whole month of March explaining everything that's happening, all the aspects, the energies, talk about the new moons and the lunar eclipse that's happening on, this day where my thumb's at on the 25th, and then the new moon is down here in Pisces. So if you want to join the highest tier of Patreon, I'm going to be doing monthly overview videos, explaining everything that's going to happen every month, or at least try to attempt to do this as much as I can, because my schedule is like very busy, and like I barely even have any time to do this. So I'm trying to just like, this is why I'm trying not to write these horoscopes anymore. That way it won't be such a hassle, and I can just actually talk and film these videos, and I feel like that's more comfortable and just better for what I'm trying to create on Patreon and these online contact. So so if you want to follow the monthly overview, go to my Patreon. I'll put it in the link in the description below. If you want to join the highest tier, you'll just get a more longer video explaining all this stuff, like what's going to happen every month. So that's what I'm trying to plan on. So if it's a little late, like, don't worry. I will try to get to it as fast as, I guess, whenever I have the time, and just do it, whenever I get the time to do these videos and stuff like that, talk about this. So, okay. But anyways, we are going to be talking about Aries season, what's going to be happening through, the next 30 days. I'm going to give you some keywords, explaining Aries. We'll go over like the aspects that the sun will be making when there we go. Let me adjust my camera. I'm filming on like two things, on my phone and my laptop right now, so I'm like trying to like do two things at once. And then, but yeah, we're going to be talking about the aspects the sun will be making as it travels through Aries. And then after that, we'll go through each sign. Try to make it a little shorter than the other video that I made. But I'll see. It depends. We'll see what we can do. So just trying something new, which is kind of like a keyword for the sign of Aries. You know, doing something new, creating something. New life is happening at this time. It's spring. You know, this is the spring equinox or the vernal equinox, if you want to get, I don't know if you want to say it either way. Aries season is a time where everything is like, you know, starting to, you know, it's getting new life is growing from this point on. There's, you know, we're planting the seed of what's going to basically grow over the whole next 12 months and, you know, to the next Aries season, basically. So Aries season is like the first zodiac sign, as you can see on the chart. It initiates, like it's the first sign. You know, it's something that starts the whole thing up. You know, keywords for Aries season, or just not just Aries season, but just Aries. It's I am, and by saying that, it's because, you know, Aries is about, you know, the self. You know, it's like just the person that, you know, who you show off to the world, basically, in a way. So if you're looking at an Aries rising chart on like a birth chart, and you have Aries as your first house or whatever, that's how you show people like your impressions, your personality, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the first house and Aries have similar keywords or whatever you want to call it, and stuff like that. Aries is a fire sign. It's a very self-assertive, strong kind of energy, self-starter. It usually takes the initiative. It initiates, you know, it's initiating something because it's a cardinal sign. And there's 4 cardinal signs. It's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And those 4 signs initiate every season. The spring equinox is when Aries season starts. Summer solstice is when Cancer season starts. Libra season will be when the fall equinox, begins, and then the winter solstice would be when Capricorn season starts. So those 4 are the ones that initiate stuff, like initiate the seasons, each season throughout the year. They are the cardinal signs. Cardinal signs get things going. They start up things. Fixed signs are usually the ones that are, trying to find that consistency, staying in their own lane with no change, just finding something that just, keeps things going. And then the mutable signs are the ones that, change the season, shifting. It's like shape shifting or something. It's changing. Whatever season it's blending into or something. That's kind of a little view of little tip or whatever you want to call it. But Aries season is a very ambitious and energetic sign. They are go-getters. They are very active. They can be impulsive, which can be a good or bad thing, depending on what they're doing. They're very quick, very fast-paced kind of energy. They just want to go, and think later. They can be spontaneous, enthusiastic, a little bit impatient, but they can be very like headstrong. They're very like, it's just like they have like this leadership kind of energy that they that comes with the sign of like the sign of Aries, and what energy the energy of Aries represents and stuff like that. Let's see. They could be argumentative, confrontational. That's kind of like the more negative sides to it, which can also be, good or bad, whatever, depending on what situation you're dealing with. They could just have this like confrontational, kind of vibe to them that really like either, they just need to just like, do something like kind of just put themselves out there or say what they want to say, kind of in a way, because they don't hold back. They're very direct. It's a Mars ruled sign, which is a very, keyword of like basically being direct, You know, having this, you know, ambitious energy, very energetic, fiery kind of type of energy. They can be fearless as well. Like I've mentioned, leadership. They have very good leadership potential. So if you're in like a career or something, or you know whatever, if you are an Aries, you need to be in like the the leader of whatever you're working, or in a high position where you can work independently. You know, have the have the say of like what goes on, like the control of whatever. They like trying new things. They can be a like pioneer kind of energy. Um, it can be very eager and have this youthful kind of energy. You know, it's the first sign of the zodiac. Like I said, this is kind of like if you're looking at the the wheels, like the wheel of life or whatever. You know, Aries would be like the start of life. You know, the like it's a baby or whatever. You know, it's fresh into this world, and then it just kind of as the year goes on, it develops and grows and stuff like that. So it's kind of you can look at it like that. Um, so yeah, that's Aries. Aries season will I think it's up to, let's see, excuse me. I think it's March 19th through like April 20th. I could be wrong. I don't know. Let me actually check. 1 second. So yeah, that's it. That'll be like the 30 days of what of how long Aries season will last, because it's usually like the 19th or 20th, or even sometimes 21st, when Aries season starts, and up to like around April 20th, April 19th. Okay, let me just check on this. Let me just go month from now. Okay, I'm checking on my other computer. Okay, it's like right. So about April 19th, it enters the sign of Taurus next month. So I guess I can keep that up there just in case if I need that. So yeah. So let's talk about kind of like I'll give you kind of like the rundown, because we do have a Mercury retrograde happening during Aries season. So that's maybe what we should talk about first. So Mercury had entered the sign of Aries on March 9th. And then it'll enter its pre-shadow territory on March 20th. And this is the point, I think he'll be at like 15 degrees of Aries. So he'll come back to this spot in a month from now, like in the middle of April, or the end of April, I should say, and station direct around 15 degrees of Aries. So I believe it's going to be Mercury's going to be in the retrograde territory is between 15 degrees to like 24 or 25 degrees of Aries. So if you have any planets around those, like 10 degrees of signs or whatever, you'll probably be more challenge or impact. This will impact your sign or whatever planets you have around in Aries. Yeah, so it's like the last 10 days of the month. It'll Mercury will be in its pre-shadow territory. So from March 20th through April 1st will be the period to really pay attention to, see what comes up at this time. Maybe your anything you hear might not be as clear as when Mercury's going direct. There's going to be a lot of delays. You're going to have to, you might be dealing with miscommunications. That's kind of during the Mercury, retrograde territory period. That's kind of like what happens during the Mercury retrograde. But the pre-shadow retrograde period is really the most important time, because this is what kind of builds up something that is like trying to get our attention, because we're going to have to start changing, shifting gears. Oh, we got to take a U-turn now, when it comes to like whatever is going on in our lives. And that'll be the point when Mercury will go retrograde in April. That'll be the time to like make those changes, adjust to something new. And Mercury is in the sign of Aries, which is about starting something new. So maybe there's something that we're communicating or thinking about, because that's what Mercury rules. It's our irrational mind. There's something going on in our with our thoughts and what we're trying to change into in order to like start something, when it comes to Aries themes and stuff like that, like just new lives, just starting something new and stuff like that. Like it's going to be an interesting Aries season. Usually, Aries season is the time, it's the astrological new year, new life is here. Everything is kind of just like, starting up. We're getting more sunlight. Um, the days are getting longer at this point. It's initiating. Something is starting. So just pay attention of what's going to be happening, and I guess we can kind of talk about where Mercury will be going retrograde as we get to the signs and stuff like that. So the next thing I want to talk about is this lunar eclipse on the 25th in Libra. This is a big deal. We're in eclipse season at this point. Eclipse season has been building up until this point. So this is like between the full moon, lunar eclipse in Libra, to the solar eclipse, new moon in Aries that happens in April, will be a little funky time because during eclipse seasons, 2 week period, because that's what from the full moon to the new moon or new moon to full moon, it's usually 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks are going to be very interesting. We're going to be in eclipse season. We're going to have, we're going to be dealing with Mercury retrograde during that time. There's going to be a lot of just like things that are just kind of moving around, shifting, changing a bit. Things are not going to make sense at this time during the 2 week period of eclipse season. But this is kind of like the universe basically shifting our world, changing stuff around. Like I said, moving things around. It's kind of just things are just going to be moving around, getting us in the right places. That's the whole point of these eclipses, though. And having on top of it the Mercury, I'm like wearing my Mercury hat right here, the Mercury and Sag, but I'm just like thinking like, hey, I'm wearing this Mercury hat. If you want to check out the merch, speaking of the hats, I will put the description in the box below too, because I do have a 20% off sale going on in March, but this is kind of like the end of it. So the next sale is going to be a free standard shipping from March 21st through the 25th. If you're interested in getting the merch, I have my Empress shirt. This is like one of my favorite tarot card designs that I have on the website. It's a really cool design. So are the hats. And just try to like have something like fiery, because we're talking about Aries season, and I don't have an Aries hat, so I was like, I'll just use the Sagittarius, hat. It's a fire sign, blah blah blah. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, eclipse season is going to be interesting. I mean, you probably should have been noticing these eclipses happening, over the past month because it's been kind of building up. But you should probably understand what's going to be, letting go, changing your world. Something is going to be, starting something new, because the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra are being, you know, affected, I guess you could say, are being activated. Actually, that's a better word. So it's going to be an interesting time. So expect a lot of changes happening. A lot of you might be letting go of Aries themes or Libra themes. Libra themes are about relationships. Maybe we have to let go of old relationships in order to balance out what's good for us, like Aries, the self, and what's good for others. Libra. That's kind of like this whole Aries Libra, North Node, South Node eclipse cycle that's been happening almost for a year now. That's crazy. They've almost been in these signs for almost a year. They went into Aries and Libra in like the middle of July of 2023, and we'll stay in there until like January 2025, and then that'll shift into a new cycle or storyline, or whatever you want to call it. So let's kind of talk about another thing. Let's see. So I mean, the sun will end up basically passing over the North Node. That's just gonna like increase, a lot of ambitious energy on top of, I don't know if I've said that the sun is exalted in the sign of Aries. So that's like one of the most important things during this time. It's, the sun's in one of its are probably the argue like one of the best sign that it likes to be in. It's probably its favorite sign to be in, honestly. When a planet is exalted in a sign, they're really lifted up. Their energy is like, goes, to 0, 100, real quick. It's a very just like, it adds on more layers of like just good energy in a way, not really good, but just it can just add on more, just like a better, I don't know, like they're kind of, the planet's lifted up when they're in its exalted sign, so it just gives it a little boost basically. But yeah, when the sun will pass over the north node and kind of like pass over Chiron and stuff like that, it's gonna like increase the energy of like wanting to start something new, giving you a glimpse of what's gonna basically, um, grow over time. You're gonna see, glimpses of, of what the, these eclipse season themes will be like, because as we even get to the solar eclipse in Aries in April, that's a new moon. That's starting something new. That's initiating, a whole new cycle. And then over the next 6 months, as we get to the fall eclipses, in like October, maybe September or whatever, like that, September, October, um, that's going to be like the last, set of eclipses, the last hurrah, the last thing that's going to be like culminating when it comes to these Aries and Libra eclipse cycles. So a lot of things are going to be, starting at this time. A lot of things are going to be ending, and you'll see it over, as time, passes through this year and stuff like that. So let me see. I think that's about it. We did talk about the solar eclipse in Aries. That happens on April 8th. It's going to be going over like the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast of the United States, around like Texas, Tennessee, probably New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, stuff. I think I'll go over there. Maybe Kentucky or something like that. That's kind of like where the path of it of the new moon solar eclipse is gonna, the moon's gonna pass over the sun, forming that eclipse. So let's see. And then we get the Mercury, basically the Cazimi, when Mercury goes retrograde and then comes back, into the heart of the sun, makes that conjunction. That's going to be like, okay, now we understand what needs to change. This is the point of Mercury retrograde, when we like get this like light bulb moment or clarity, somewhat of a clarity moment of like, oh, okay, this is why things didn't work in this, in this situation or whatever, and this is what we need to change as we, go from this point on. The Mercury Cazimi, when the Mercury conjuncts the Sun in its retrograde cycle, it's going to be on April 11th. So that's going to be an interesting time. I mean, really pay attention to that. I mean, that's like right after the eclipse season is over. So it's like we get that solar eclipse on the 8th of April, and then a couple more days left after this. Mercury conjuncts to the Sun, making that, Cazimi. That's I feel like when everything's going to start to click of like, okay, this is what needs to happen. This is what I need to do from this point on. This is who I need to do for myself, or what I need to think about when it comes to like, myself. That's kind of like the Aries themes and stuff like that. So I don't know, just kind of pay attention towards the middle of April, because you're gonna, you're gonna understand what needs to change from this point on. And then Mercury will end up its retrograde on like, what is it, the April 25th. So you'll find out basically from that point on to the end of the retrograde, why things needed to change, why you needed to change your perspective on maybe yourself, or how people see you, what you're saying about yourself, how you're communicating, how you're putting yourself out there in the world. That's kind of another Sun in Aries, kind of thing too. This, whenever the Sun is in Aries, it's something that's like people who have this it's like they present themselves as like just trying to just, change the game basically. They like to be the first ones to do anything. That's an Aries theme. So if you know any Aries, they'll probably just always want to just start creating stuff. They're probably not the best person to like finish any project, because they're probably have so many other projects that they've started, that they just have these ideas and they just want to just start all these new things, but they can never finish it. It's kind of a funny thing that I've observed from people that have any kind of Aries placements, I should say. No matter who you are, if you're Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, stuff like that. So I want to mention one more thing before we get into the signs. I know we're kind of talking about like April and stuff like that, and like, I mean, because there's not really much going on in March except for that lunar eclipse, but there's a really big transit or aspect, you can say, or something big that's happening during the sign of during April, on top of this, eclipse season in Mercury retrograde. So Jupiter and Uranus are in the sign of Taurus, and Jupiter has been, it just got out of its shadow territory at the end of March. It's in new territory at this point. It's getting closer and closer to Uranus, and they're going to be forming a conjunction on like April 20th or April 19th, whatever, one of those 2 days. Let me get a drink of water real quick. That's going to be a very important time, and even just after that, from that point on, like after, it's huge. It's going to be one of the biggest things happening this year. And Jupiter has been in Taurus since last May 2023, so it's almost been a whole year we've had Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Jupiter in the sign of Taurus has been, Jupiter is about expansions, about philosophies, beliefs, what else can I say, growth, the higher mind and stuff like that, foreign cultures, long distance travel, stuff like that. And Uranus is about, the unexpected. It's about the shock and awe. It's a lightning strike, like the, oh my God, boom, like that kind of energy, like didn't expect that. Uranus can be a little chaotic, but it can also be very liberating because, it can break us, out of old patterns or old situations that we don't need, that we, need to grow away from. Uranus can be, that, explosive kind of energy, getting us outside of like outside the norm or something like that. Like it can be very exciting kind of energy, but it can also be very chaotic. You don't know what to expect, but it's either liberating, it could bring, disruptions, stuff like that. It's not very stable, but it likes to shake things up a bit. So having Jupiter forming this conjunction to Uranus, there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs from, when it comes to, Taurus themes, which is like growth, stability, security. What else can I say? Let me just check this real quick. Like just the luxurious stuff. We might have just a bunch of like stuff. Hold on, let me just take all this out. Go through it. Let me just find my Taurus themes, just to give you some keywords of how this, Taurus does rule like money stuff, like money, material items and stuff like that. So we can have like breakthroughs, when it comes to material items, when it comes to our finances, when it comes to just what's supporting us, how we support ourselves. We've been, having Jupiter in the sign of Taurus has been inviting us to be more consistent in whatever we are, working on, growing on, because being consistent will end up giving us the growth, and this like the security that we need. Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is in a Venus ruled sign, which is about, what was I just thinking? It's about like values and stuff like that. So Jupiter in Taurus, Jupiter is about, growth, it's expansion, stuff like that. And what I've heard, it's like the max. We are trying to grow, or like what is it? I've heard people say Jupiter in Taurus is kind of like getting like the maximum value of things that involve security, stability, being consistent, just luxurious stuff and stuff like that. When it comes to like agriculture as well, we can see a lot of breakthroughs when this conjunction happens. When it comes to agriculture, let's see, just a lot of like just growth and stuff like that. I don't know. Just pay attention. I mean, this is going to be an interesting transit no matter what happens. So I think that's basically all I want to talk about. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's get into the signs. We'll kind of go through all the signs. I'll just kind of just go through, look at my notes, and we'll just kind of go through the signs and look at the charts and stuff like that. Okay, so this is going to be, we are talking about Aries season, so we're going to start with, the first zodiac sign, which is Aries. So Aries, this is going to be all in your first house. Like I said earlier in the video, if you are an Aries rising, this is kind of just going to bring, this initiative kind of starting something new when it comes to who you are, what you represent, present into the world, how you're putting yourself out there. You do have Mercury eventually going retrograde in your chart in your first house, so that'll kind of like change your how you view yourself, how change your approach to life, change kind of like the character that you're putting out, like the character that you're putting out into the world through your impressions and stuff like that. There's a lot of things kind of beginning at this time, maybe not at this point because Mercury is going to be going retrograde. So there's going to be delays, there's going to be setbacks. So you want to hold off on anything that you want to start at this time because once Mercury goes direct in April, at the end of April, that'll kind of be where the things will start. You'll start seeing the results of what you want or how you want to present yourself over the next month. So let's see what else I could say. It's about your identity and stuff like that. Like I think I've mentioned a lot of stuff. Let's see. Your outlook on life will change. It's the first house does represent your physical body. So maybe something is like you want, like I said, your appearance, your character, your personality. Maybe something changes, or you want to change your look or whatever, and stuff like that. Just how you project your image out into the world to just everybody. That's kind of how I see, this month going for Aries rising. So, yeah. All right, so let's move on. We'll go to Taurus rising now. So I know I'm not going to move the chart. I'm just going to just point, at these signs and just kind of go from there. So if you are a Taurus rising, this stuff is going to be happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house is about, the hidden realm. It's about the spiritual side of life. It kind of represents like your mental health, your subconscious side. This could so a lot of things to do with your subconscious and what's hidden, not really seen out into the world, is going to be changing. Maybe you are changing your way of your just spiritual outlook and stuff like that on life, and just maybe trying to find ways to heal any subconscious things that are maybe like addictions or stuff like that. Maybe you're just kind of like getting over this, or you're like having this Mercury retrograde in this 12th house, changing, going back and forth. There's a lot of things that you're kind of letting go of, maybe reviewing when it comes to addictions or spiritual stuff, subconscious themes, stuff. A lot of stuff is ending at this time. So there's a lot of things kind of you have to let go of and stuff like that. Let's see. Like the 12th house, you might be, maybe more hidden, kind of like staying isolated from maybe a lot of people or whatever, like just kind of isolating yourself more often. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting time. Yeah, this Mercury retrograde is going to like really change a lot of subconscious impulses maybe that you've been doing lately or in your recently or whatever. It's an Aries. It's Aries. It's a fire sign. It's a very just initiative. It's very like just fiery and stuff like that. Like just kind of go getting. So there's gonna be, I feel like, a lot of like trying to understand these impulses that you really need to address. And I don't know, like you're gonna be dealing with a lot of addictions, maybe getting over addictions. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Just stuff to do with like hidden desires, the unconscious. Maybe like this will be a time of purging certain impulses that you've been kind of projecting, or maybe there's been a lot of like fear going around. Maybe at this time or something like that. I don't know. I'm seeing kind of like that's what I'm kind of getting from this. It could be anything though. I mean, but you will be probably getting over a lot of like self-sabotaging kind of themes of what you've been doing to yourself, maybe and stuff like that. I don't know. A lot of spiritual stuff is going on here. Maybe this will help you get more spiritual if you've been kind of looking for answers or something like that. That's kind of what I see. Okay, so if you are a Gemini rising, this is going to be happening in your 11th house. So 11th house is all about friendships. It's about communities. It's about your earned wealth or the benefits that you earned from your career. This is about um, like groups of people, your colleagues, opportunities, good fortune or good spirit. That's the fifth house, good fortune. The 11th house is good spirit. Um, Hopes, dreams, aspirations, alliances, social resources, um, your audience, basically. So, Geminis, a lot of things are going to be either starting at this time or because of this Mercury retrograde happening in your 11th house. This is going to be, kind of going back over certain themes to do with like groups of people, working with other people, how these people are, helping you with your goals or like the collective goals or whatever, who you're working with. A lot of those stuff is kind of changing, kind of shifting more and giving you guys more opportunities if you are kind of working with other people and stuff like that. Yeah, like that's kind of how I'm seeing it for you guys. I mean, yeah, you're going to have a lot of things like you're going to be more ambitious. This is going to be sextiling your first house because Aries and Gemini, it's a very combinational sign. They go well together. So this could bring, opportunities on top of opportunities. Like this is a very smooth, easy aspect. It's not the biggest aspect, but it can give you a little like boost and boost your boost up your boost up your confidence or whatever you could say. Give you a little boost of like how this can help who you are and what you're trying to do. Let's see. You could be dealing with a lot of like people, like you could be networking with people online, dealing with technology. You might have some glitches when you're connecting with these people because of this Mercury retrograde period of time. Just like trends and like more abundance and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Visionaries, how others support your visions and stuff like that. A lot of things are really changing at this time. Okay, so Cancers, Cancer rising. So this is going to be if you're Cancer rising, that means Aries is in your 10th house. The 10th house is basically the superior position over your first house of Cancer, because I mean it's 10 houses, 10 houses, it's 9 houses, whatever. It's like the 10th house from the first. So if you understand that. So this is basically from the 10th house and first house. It's like it forms a square. So Aries is going to be forming a square to your Cancer house of where these planets are being activated or going into this area of house, this area of life for you, Cancer. This is going to be initiating stuff with careers. Maybe you're starting a career or trying to start a career. Having this Mercury retrograde in your 10th house of Aries will maybe delay some career opportunities for you or like stuff that you want to achieve in your career. You're going to have to maybe go back over certain things in order to understand what you need to do in your career to basically climb up the ladder or earn those achievements that you want to work on, or what needs improvement when it comes to your work and your job and your public image out in the world and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I see that stuff. So there's going to be a lot of things like that you want to start at this time, but there's going to be delays. And you will have the challenges because Aries forms a square to your Cancer house. So if you have any planets there or your ascendants there, this can challenge you into pushing yourself to do something that'll solve any problems, any issues, or any challenges that you come across over the next 30 days. So that's kind of how I see it. Like if you are trying to get into like a higher rank in your career, or like an authority figure kind of in your career, or authority role, I should say, you're going to have challenges. Like these authorities will probably have that, kind of have their like you under their under your under like you're under their thumb or whatever. Is that the right word? Something like that. Like you're gonna have challenges with authorities because they're gonna try to challenge you into making these whatever career stuff, or any long-term goals that you really like are trying to work towards. It's going to be a very karmic time for you at this time, though, Cancers. Let's see. So let's go on to Leo risings. So if you are a Leo rising, this is happening in your ninth house of Aries. This is going to be probably one of the more exciting times for the fire signs. Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, they're fire signs. This is going to bring that fire that we enjoy. I'm a Sagittarius, so I love it when it's Aries season. I just like it's the best time. It rules my fifth house, and I'll get to that. But it's a nice time. But anyways, for the fire signs, including Leo, this is going to be an exciting time. But it could also be a time to really look at your philosophies, your truths about life, your perspectives on life. If you are into religion, your religious views might be changing, or they're going to be focused on these religious, foreign culture type of, stuff, philosophies, your dreams out into the world, your principles, or anything that you follow. You know what I mean? So this is going to be, in long-term travels and, higher education, the higher mind, publishing, teaching, institutions, academics, legal matters. What else can I say? Just like benefits from like other people, wisdom. That's kind of like the ninth house stuff, the law, stuff like that. So this is going to be the theme for you, Leos. Let's see. So having this Mercury retrograde in your ninth house, kind of going back over these themes of like when it comes to traveling, foreign cultures, religion, higher education, long travels, let's see, wisdom, stuff like that, philosophies, truths, and like that. Maybe you are going to either go back to school or try to take some like school or academic courses that really help you in life, just to raise your, I guess, whatever the rank is or whatever of like diplomacy. Is that what the right word is? Your philosophies and stuff about life, and just trying to maybe you're trying to find like a better career path. So maybe you need to educate yourself by going back to school or learning stuff to do with like some like other foreign land cultures and stuff like that. A lot of things are going to be changing. Like maybe you'll understand, better philosophies, once Mercury goes retrograde, and you're like, wait, this makes more sense to me than, what I was thinking before, or stuff like that. You can get into any, like, philosophical, like, topics or something. You can get into astrology. That's kind of like one thing that's possible. It doesn't have to be astrology though, because I mean, you could be either getting into a lot of like religion, religious stuff, which could be which could go either way. But a lot of things are changing at this time. For you in your ninth house, you're going to be using your not really using, but like your higher mind is going to be kind of like shifting in a way. You're kind of going to be understanding this higher perspective of how to use your higher mind and stuff like that. It's going to be an interesting time. Like, yeah, it's going to be Aries season. It's going to bring more fire into your chart, which is which speaks your language and stuff like that. But I don't know. A lot of things are just changing in that area of life. So I don't know. I feel like I go on repeating myself and stuff like that. So we're gonna move on. If you are a Virgo rising, this is gonna be happening in your eighth house. So the eighth house is all about shared resources, inheritance, death-related topics, rebirth, soul contracts, refinancing. It could represent sexual chemistry that you have with a partner, your spouse's money. Let's see, any assets, taxes, loans, credit cards, debts, stuff like that. That's eighth house things. Intimacy, that's another eighth house things. It's the darker side or the more hidden parts of your relationships that nobody sees or that nobody wants to talk about. It's kind of those themes, you know. It can also represent psychology, and stuff like transformation, whatever. It'll be a transformational time no matter what, you know, whenever these planets are transiting your eighth house of Aries. So yeah, having this Mercury, your ruler Mercury, going retrograde. I mean, one thing it's gonna kind of make things a little funky because your ruler is not going direct; he's going backwards. He's like out of sync of how he's ruling you or whatever, or like in control, I guess you could say, of you. So whenever Mercury, you know, goes retrograde, if you are a Gemini or a Virgo, which I probably should have said for Geminis, but I'll say it for Virgos, you know, it really changes your like how you function. Any planet that goes retrograde, you know, whatever sign it rules, it's not like it's not in the right, you know, station, if you want to like, you know, describe it like that. So having Mercury go retrograde in your eighth house, you know, you're going to be probably trying to, you know, go back over, you know, things that to do with like paying off debts, getting more intimate with partners, using shared resources or relying on other people's resources to like help you or help whatever goals you're trying to, you know, whatever goals you're trying to start. Excuse me. Let's see, what else can I say? It's going to be an adjustment. You're going to have to adjust to these like these energies in order for you to like really understand what needs to change in this area of life for you. I think that's about it. Like whatever, like any like joint ventures, joint goals, partner goals, goals that you have with your partner. This is going to be you know, changing at this time. Maybe you're just maybe going to want to like, you know, create better ways to enjoy stuff with your partner, stuff like that. So it could be, you know, relationship stuff. It could be with money stuff. That's kind of what I'm getting there. Let's go to the next one. I didn't realize how long this was, but oh well. If you're a Libra rising, this is going to be your seventh house. So this is going to be all about partners, relationships, one-on-one people that you're connected with. There's going to be a lot of changes going on in your relationships. Maybe, you know, how you support others or how others support you. I mean, we are going through eclipse season. The South Node is going through your first house, which has probably been very draining for you. But the North Node is encouraging you to, you know, have these relationships to balance out who you are and who, like how your connections with other people are and stuff like that. Having Mercury go retrograde in this area of life for you will be changing your perspective of how these relationships, you know, are these relationships worth it? Maybe there needs to be some adjustments, or you know, because it's an opposition. It's opposite from your first house, so there's going to be a push-pull kind of like tension here. But you're going to have to find some balance. You're going to have to work things out if you need any challenges that come up with you or your partner, you and, you know, any other person that you are connected with. It can be a boss, it can be your best friend, it can be your mom, it can be, I don't know, a parent, or like just somebody on the street, one of your friends or whatever. Somebody, a partnership. You know, it's like it's someone else. It's you and somebody else. A lot of changes happening in your relationship status in your area of life, and how these commitments that you've made will probably be changing, and stuff like that. Agreements, climates. clients, not claimants. Seventh house also represents open enemies, so there could be some challenges when it comes to enemies or stuff like that. Just kind of look out for that stuff. But just mainly in even marriage, marriage agreements or marriage related issues or something like that. Maybe you are trying to get married or you're planning on getting married, and then this is the time that is gonna give you the chance to really look at, all the aspects and all the different possibilities of, is this right for me? Will this be the right marriage for me? Blah blah blah, relationships, stuff like that. So just that's what it's going to be looking towards over the next month. If you are a Scorpio rising, this is going to be in your sixth house. Sixth house is about work, service, daily routines, coworkers, leases, routines, medicine, health related issues, physical health, injuries, illnesses, pets, visible problems, your hygiene, fitness training, working out and stuff like that. This is going to be the theme over the next month. The way you like, there's a system that kind of comes with the sixth house of how you do things, how you work, and stuff like that. So a lot of things will be focusing on your work sector of life, and this Mercury retrograde will end up changing these systems up a bit. You're going to be probably doing things a bit different in your work. Let's see, maybe you are trying to sign a new lease when it comes to anywhere you're, live in, or you're trying to work somewhere or whatever. You could be dealing with a lot of health issues during this time. Maybe trying to figure out how to heal certain aspects of like what's going on. You might have to sacrifice a lot of your time during this period, which will create those delays during the Mercury retrograde, at least. So, like, you might have to adjust to these like circumstances that appear during this time. Even during the Mercury retrograde over the next month for you. You are trying to start something new. It's an Aries. But there's going to be delays. There's going to be setbacks, but once this Mercury retrograde completes, you'll understand. You'll find new ways of like doing your work, new ways to serve, new ways of just like connecting, balancing out your body mind connection, any healing any like physical aspects of your life and stuff like that. Maybe you're dealing with an injury and you find out how to heal it and stuff like that. If you are a Sagittarius rising, this is going to be in your fifth house. This is going to be also an exciting time, but Mercury will be in retrograde for you. So whatever things that are starting at this time, there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be delays, and the fifth house represents your self-expressions, your creative side, children, pleasures, love, passions, inspiration, bucket lists, items, bucket list, themes that you want to do, dating. Let's see, what seems fun to you. It could be a very fertile time. You could be thinking about, pregnant, like getting, starting a family, like getting somebody pregnant at this time or whatever, thinking about it. But maybe this is, having this Mercury retrograde kind of go through it and be like, hold up, let me just back up and like kind of review some things, these themes in order for me to understand stuff like that. If you are in a relationship, this would be a time to really look at, your dating life and see what's like real, what you need and what you don't need, and like things are going to be just changing in this area of life for you. If you are in like some type of apprenticeship, program, or you're starting something that's like kind of new, this would be a good time to really adjust to like what you're learning, what you're working towards, stuff like that. There could be drama at this time. Stuff to do with any hobbies. This is going to be a good time to like really look at your hobbies and really change the like stuff that you want to improve on and stuff like that. That's kind of it. Your talents, entrepreneurship. Maybe this can be a very creative time. Like if you're an artist, if you're going through making music and stuff like that. A lot of stuff producing at this time. If you're into sports, this would be a good time to have a little fun and play sports. I don't know if you have the time and doing any like games, activities, and stuff like that. Excuse me. This will also be a time to really like look at your what's good for your inner child. How are you nurturing your inner child? What you need and stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you guys for Sagittarius risings. If you are a Cap rising, this will be in your fourth house, and this is going to be focused on home, family, your private life, your comfort zone, how you nurture yourself, like how you express your intuition. Um, let's see, this is like focusing on your maternal instincts. What's kind of like how you just basically nurture yourself and like take care of like family or connect with family and stuff like that. Um, as Mercury goes retrograde in your fourth house of Aries, there could be, this can bring challenges when it comes to family, when it comes to like anything to do with your property, how you're maybe expressing yourself when maybe you're trying to renovate your house or renovate something in your home, and there's going to be delays. Maybe you need an item that you need to order to maybe repair on something, and it ends up being delayed, and you end up not getting it right away. That's a possibility. Like it squares your first house, so I mean there's going to be challenges when it comes to family and home matters. You can have drama when it comes to your family. This is going to just be really looking at your emotional side and what you need to initiate in this area of life for you. Just kind of look at home themes and family things and like what you are trying to do during this time, because there might be some setbacks if you are creating anything or renovating or doing anything around the home. Maybe you're trying to move and it's like, oh wait, this won't be the right time to move, and then there gets you get more delays and like wanting to move somewhere, and it's like wait, I need to fix this, do that before we can actually leave this place. Maybe that's another possibility that you're trying to work on. That's what I see. So yeah. Okay, so if you are an Aquarius rising, this is going to be in your third house of Aries. Third house is, all about communication, transportation, interactions with people, being more social, maybe connecting with people online, like social media. Third house also represents siblings, short traveling, like basic education, writing, rituals, I said transportation, devices, your commune, like your daily commune, how you do things, just stuff like that. Maybe like close friends and stuff like that. Let's see what else I have for the third house. Third house is a lot of things. It's kind of interesting. It's the lower mind. Like the ninth house is the higher mind. The third house is the lower mind. Your immediate environment, mental connections. Let's see. It can also represent cousins, aunts, uncles. The way you think, early education, rational mind, little like logical experiences. It's a many things. So, this is going to be the focus. Like maybe you are going to be taking a lot more like, traveling around your local community or whatever like that, meeting new people, talking to people online and stuff like that. Having this Mercury retrograde go back and forth in your third house will create, a lot of miscommunications, obviously, on top of like, maybe delays if you are trying to, plan a little short trip and you're trying to just get out of town, and then there ends up being running into traffic or something happens and you're like, oh, this is not what I was expecting, and there's a delay and you might have to wait a little longer. Maybe just stuff, you're trying to communicate a little better, and you're maybe trying to find new ways to initiate these, new ideas, new thoughts that's been going on in your head. Maybe you're trying to plan on doing stuff on social media, starting something, or just how you connect to people on social media will change. Maybe if you're working on any writing projects, this will, be a good time to really like change up something. Or like if you're, writing a book and you need to do like certain you need to rewrite everything. You need to do your rough draft a couple times before it's finalized. If you're something to do with siblings, maybe there's some I wouldn't say there's going to be any challenging challenging things happening because it's right here it's sextiling your first house, so this is going to bring opportunities on top of like these things with what to do with communications, some connecting with other people, interactions. A lot of things might be changing. A lot of things are boiling, well, not really boiling, but just bubbling up in your mind, and you're trying to like kind of figure out what's the right way to express yourself, your ideas. I don't know, just stuff like that. So just kind of pay attention. I don't know. Third house is a very interesting area. It could be many things. So like your local environment, that's what it's really going to be focusing on. So just things that are going on around your neighborhood, maybe with neighbors. That's another third house. The way you communicate to them. I don't know. Something to do with your local neighborhood or traveling or just your media environment, how you communicate with people, stuff like that. And then let's go to the last sign, which is Pisces rising. This is going to be in your second house. So the second house is about finances, personal resources. It can be about agriculture, how you like ingest food. It can be about your possessions, your priorities, I'd say your money, personal savings, um, what you're investing into. It can be, your personal security. That could be, focusing on the money situation, personal wealth. Let's see, any tangible items or just stuff that you need. Because the first house is about who you are. The second house is what you need to basically, live and stuff like that. Like, what do you need? You need money for food. You need money for water. You need a house to live at. You need, some type of income, stuff like just supports you. That's the second house. So this is going to be the theme over the next 30 days. And having this Mercury retrograde going back and forth in your second house will basically give you like an opportunity to change, I guess, certain things that you want to initiate when it comes to supporting yourself better, when it comes to earning more money, earning more wealth, earning more possessions or values. Something about your values are changing at this time. Values is another second house theme, so that's a very important, key word that you can focus on for you Pisces. Your work ethic could maybe change at this time because the second house is basically what you need. That's how you earn money. So like maybe the way you work will be kind of changing. Not really. That's kind of sixth house things, but just stuff that you are earning from, like a different way of earning money or something like that. That's kind of what I was trying to say. Let's see what else I could say. Self worth, the way you speak, because like the second house kind of rules like the neck. It's kind of like the Taurus house. That's like what Taurus rules basically. So it's like the way you speak, the way you just ingest food, your vocal talents, ownership. Let's see, your senses. That's another kind of like a Taurus theme, but like second house, your senses. Yeah, so personal values, personal resources, finances, stuff like that. These are all going to be changing around this time. And I didn't realize how long this video was, but who cares? It was fun to do it. I'm glad I did this anyways. Trying to, do something new. I should be doing April horoscopes for the monthly overview soon. I kind of want to do this before Mercury goes retrograde, or at least maybe before he gets into his shadow, because I know we're going to be starting to get more technology glitches and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This will be for Aries season, and we did the horoscope and talked about through all the signs. If you are still here, please please share to other people if you are willing to, share this with other people. Get the thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to the channel or subscribe to my Patreon to get, these a little earlier than when I post it on YouTube, that will be in the description below. Just a little heads up. So yeah, and if you want to know anything about the merch, that'll be in the description below because there's always going to be sales every month. I haven't got my April sales yet, but I do still have one more free standard shipping sale in the month of March, March 21st through the 25th of March. So that'll be the last sale of the month. Let's see what else I can say. Just thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me the time, your time. I hope you guys really enjoy this, kind of new thing that I'm trying to do instead of just writing. I feel like it's better to at least, do these videos instead of just doing the writing because I'm just finding it a little bit more, not really challenging, but just more of a hassle and time consuming when it comes to writing. I feel like I could either, do these videos a little better. That way I can teach you guys instead of you guys just reading, stuff because it's not always fun to read stuff. I know, I get it. It's better to visualize stuff, and that's what I'm trying to help you guys with. So if you are my Patreon, thank you for being here. You are the best, and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have anything. If I didn't have you guys, so join my Patreon, like please, like it's a fun little subscription to like really get a little bit more insights. It's not really that much, there's a $5 tier and a $10 tier. $5 is just like basically what this video is about every season, and I'm gonna at least try to start doing this, going through each sign, describing, how this, how each season is gonna affect your sign, which house placements these planets will be going through, and the $10 tier will be the monthly overview, giving you an explanation of this whole month. I guess I could be doing. I'll probably adjust to certain things that I want to do on these videos for my Patreon. Just slowly trying to do this and give it as much time because I'm a busy person. I work about 6 days a week, so I only have like one day off to really do anything. Just get some downtime. So yeah, my life is busy. So I appreciate if you guys are being patient with me. So yeah, but this has been your video about Aries season, and I hope you guys have a great month, and we'll see you in the next video.